Good morning. Good morning, everyone. We will begin our HART Board of Directors meeting scheduled today, January 10th, 2022, 9 a.m. I am Melanie Williams. I am the Vice Chair, and Mariella Smith, who is our chair, HART Chair. She will be in shortly, so we'll just go ahead and get it kicked off at this time. I'd like to call the meeting to order and Pledge of Allegiance. If you'll join me in the Pledge of Allegiance.
It's a hard book.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. We will, Ms. Pettit, I believe we're going to bypass the elections and appointments at this time and go straight to the approval of minutes, and this will give us an opportunity to wait for Chair Smith to join us. Oh, excuse me. Thank you, Commissioner Myers. Ms. Pettit, would you please start with the roll call? I had gotten so far down the agenda, I need to back up.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
Director Castor?
Here.
Director Frazier?
Here.
Director Hudson? Here. Director Johnson?
Here.
Director Kemp? Here. Director Knight? Director Myers?
Here.
Director Overman?
Here.
Director Schisler?
Here.
Chair Smith? Director Vieira?
Here.
Vice Chair Williams? You have quorum.
All right, is that better? Very good, okay. All right, I have my mask on, I'm compliant, and I now know why you couldn't hear me, so now I'm all set. Thanks for the roll call, Ms. Lena Pettit, and we will bypass elections at this time, and we will await Ms. Vice Chair and move right to approval of minutes.
Move to approve.
Second.
Thank you. We have approval by Mr. Schisler and second by Commissioner Overman. Will you please do a roll call, Ms. Pettit?
Director Castor?
Yes.
Director Frazier?
Yes.
Director Hudson?
Yes.
Director Johnson?
Yes.
Director Kemp?
Yes.
Director Knight? Director Myers?
Yes.
Director Overman?
Yes.
Director Schisler?
Yes.
Director Vieira?
Yes.
Vice Chair Williams?
Yes.
Motion passes unanimously.
Thank you. We move on to our public input on agenda items and general concerns. I believe we have one person.
Yes, ma'am. We received one public comment to read into record. Public comment is from Mr. Gary Cloyd. Good afternoon, Lena. Please read this into record. Good morning, members of the HART Board of Directors. It is suggested that you find new and creative ways to improve customer service, increase ridership and revenue numbers, the ability to consistently gather necessary input and information from riders and citizens alike as it relates to HART's mission. Gary Cloyd. That's the end of public comment.
Thank you. Okay, we will move to section 5 on our agenda. We have an action item. Do I hand this action item over to you, Ms. LeGrand? Okay, resolution R2022-0101, authorization for the Chief Executive Officer to execute and submit the state fiscal year 2023 grant applications and supporting documents for the Florida Department of Transportation funding under the FTA Section 53104, operating funds for HART Plus taxi voucher program and capital funds to purchase paratransit vehicles and to accept the grant award.
Thank you. Good morning, board members, and Happy New Year to everyone. We have this one action item, and if you recall at our last board meeting, I did have robust discussion about the process on how we bring resolutions before the board. So here's another example of a resolution that did not go through committee. However, we did not have committee meetings in December, and we need to execute this agreement before our next board meeting, which would be in February. So today, what I'm going to do is read through the background information for the resolution so that we can all be familiar with what we're doing here. In addition, I'm going to ask Ms. Pettit if she can bring up the resolution background on the screen so those who may be tuning in can see it. So I'll wait for her to get back there. But overall, this is a standard grant application that we receive. It comes from the state, but it's really fed through the state from the federal government, the Federal Transit Administration. It's from the funding source of Section 5310, which allows us to fund our paratransit and enhance mobility services. So as the resolution comes up on the screen, you'll see a couple of things that I do believe are worth pointing out. So first and foremost, you know, these dollars are coming to us from FDOT. We've been getting these dollars for the last several years. In addition to that, we are also using these funds for both capital and operating. So we can use these dollars to buy paratransit vehicles, which we're going to do that, as well as to help us with our taxi service. So I did want you to be able to see the background information, which I believe, I don't know what's on the, I can't really see on the screen. I have old eyes. But it is in your packet, and the information is just for us. I mean, the funding is really just for us to be able to get and execute this grant from FDOT. So if you look at the resolution, there's three parts of it. So the first part is for us to get approval for the taxi program, our voucher program. And the second is capital funds to purchase paratransit vehicles. And the third is to accept the grant. We also have Ms. Kirk in the audience, and she and her team have been the ones that are shepherding this. So she's here also if you have any questions. Any questions?
Thank you, Ms. LeGrand. Are there any comments or questions by the board members or staff at this point? Okay, seeing no questions, do we move for approval?
Move approval.
Okay, we have an approval by Commissioner Overman and a second by Commissioner Kemp. Ms. Pettit, will you please take a roll call?
Director Castro?
A vote, excuse me.
Yes.
Director Frazier?
Yes.
Director Hudson?
Yes.
Director Johnson?
Yes.
Director Kemp?
Yes.
Director Myers?
Yes.
Director Overman?
Yes.
Director Schisler?
Yes.
Chair Smith? Director Vieira?
Yes.
Vice Chair Williams?
Yes,
Motion passes unanimously.
thank you. At this point, I will hand the meeting over to you, our chair, Chairwoman Smith, and she will take it from here. We're on number 6, and we did bypass the elections until your arrival. Thank you so much. You're welcome.
Your mic's not on.
Oh, thank you very much, Vice Chair Williams. I would like to apologize. I left my house at 7:45, but there was crashes and Google telling me you're in a 52-minute slowdown and you are on the fastest route. So we desperately need transit in this county. I take it we had the Pledge of Allegiance and the roll call as well. So that takes us to the elections then? Thank you. And I'll be handing this off to our General Counsel, Julia Mandel, to take. But as I do, I'd like to say a few words. It has been an honor and a pleasure to serve as HART Board Chair. This is an awesome board of directors who are really dedicated and work hard to understand the issues and carry out our responsibilities to make our transit system the very best it can be. It has been very fulfilling for me to serve this agency with its incredible people who work hard and care deeply about our mission to take people to the places that enrich their lives, and people who earn the hashtag Heart Heroes every day. So as of today, I'll be stepping down from this role. I've learned a lot as HART's board chair, and I know that my time served in this role will help me to continue on this board as a contributing member And I'm looking forward to continuing to work with all of you here. When the nominations do open, I would like to make a nomination.
Thank you, Madam Chair. And I must say, it's been my pleasure to work with you as well. Thank you. Now, what I'd like to do is take nominations for the officer of chair. Just so I can explain the way I think would be the best way to handle this. If there's only going to be one nomination, then we'll go ahead and just take a roll call vote after that. If there is more than one nomination, what we'll do is we'll take what all the nominations are, then we'll go ahead and ask board members to indicate on the record what their preference is. Lena will go ahead and mark that down, and then we'll continue with that process until such time that we have someone who can receive a majority of the members. Unless there's any concerns about that process, I think that would be the most efficient use of our time. So at this point, I'll ask for nominations for chair of this board.
And I'd like to nominate Commissioner Pat Kemp for our next board chair. As you all know, Commissioner Kemp is extremely knowledgeable about transportation. She is also especially passionate about transit, and she's served on the HART board for several years now. She knows the business of this agency and this board very well, and as a countywide commissioner, she represents and fully understands the perspective and will of the citizens of this county whose taxes fund this agency. Over the last year, Commissioner Kemp served as the chair of the BOCC, our county commission, and I can assure you all that our meetings there have never been shorter. So she'd be a terrific chair of HART, and I hope you will all support her election to that position for the next year.
Thank you. Are there any other nominations?
I'd just like to thank Commissioner Smith.
I'll support that nomination.
I don't hear any additional nominations. Very good. Then, since we only have Commissioner Kemp as the nominated individual as chair, go ahead and take a roll call vote on that appointment.
Director Castor?
An appreciative yes.
Director Frazier?
Yes.
Hudson?
Enthusiastic, yes.
Director Johnson?
Yes.
Director Kemp?
Yes.
Director Knight? Director Myers?
Yes.
Director Oberman?
Yes.
Director Schussler?
Yes.
Director Smith?
Yes.
Director Vieira?
Yes.
Director Williams?
Yes.
Motion passes unanimously.
And thank you all so much. Thank you.
Congratulations. Thank you. Now we'll move on to the vice chair. If I could have a nomination for vice chair, please.
I'd like to nominate Councilman Schussler for vice chair.
Are there any additional nominations?
Can we self-nominate?
There's nothing in Robert's Rules of Order that prohibit that.
I would like to nominate myself.
Okay, very good. Any other nominations?
Oh, for the record, that's Commissioner Everman.
Thank you. Are there any other nominations? Thank you. With that, we'll go ahead and close the nominations, and we'll take a roll call to indicate preference as to the individual to be named as vice chair.
Director Castor?
Councilman Schlichler, sorry, Sichler.
Director Frazier?
Commissioner Overman.
Director Hudson?
Commissioner Overman.
Director Johnson?
Commissioner Overman.
Director Kemp?
Commissioner Overman.
Director Knight? Director Myers?
Councilman Schischler.
Director Oberman?
Commissioner
Self-nominated,
Overman.
yes. Director Schussler?
Schissler?
Director Smith?
Commissioner Overman.
Director Vieira?
Respectful for Commissioner Overman.
Director Williams.
It's Commissioner Schisler.
7 votes for Commissioner Overman, 4 for Councilmember Schisler. Given that we have a majority vote for Commissioner Overman as vice chair, now we will need to take a vote to confirm that appointment. Director Castor? You're voting on Commissioner Overman as vice chair.
Yes.
Director Frazier?
Yes.
Director Hudson?
Yes.
Director Johnson?
Yes.
Director Kemp?
Yes.
Director Knight? Director Myers?
Yes.
Director Overman?
Yes.
Director Schisler?
Yes.
Director Smith?
Yes.
Director Vieira?
Yes.
Director Williams?
Yes.
Motion passes unanimously. Thank you, and congratulations. Now we'll move on
Thank you all.
to the position of secretary.
I'd like to nominate Melanie Williams.
Are there any additional nominations? With that, we'll close the nominations, and we'll go ahead and take a roll call vote on the appointment of Commissioner, Board Member Williams as secretary. Director Castor?
Yes.
Director Frazier?
Yes.
Director Hudson?
Yes.
Director Johnson?
Yes.
Chair Kemp?
Yes.
Director Myers?
Yes.
Director Overman?
Yes.
Director Schisler?
Yes.
Director Smith?
Yes.
Director Vieira?
Yes.
Director Williams?
Yes.
Motion passes unanimously.
Thank you.
Thank you. And next, we'll go into the HART committees with the appointment of board members to HART committees. Lena has passed out the indications from the survey that was taken as to who had expressed interest in the different committees. We can go ahead and start with the Litigation and Claims Committee. The current member is Ms. Frazier, Board Member Frazier, and 2 members have expressed interest, Board Member Frazier and Council Member Schisler. We'll need to take an action to choose one of those, as we only have 1 board member who is on that particular committee. So probably the best thing to do is for us to go around and express who, because there's 2, we'll go ahead and express to which member would be the person to be appointed, and then we'll take a vote from there.
If it'll make it easier, I'll drop my name off. And stay on an alternate. Then stay, yeah, thank you. Get it out. Yes, and stay on as alternate.
And if that's your preference, unless there's anybody who would like to do anything different, we could just go ahead and take a board action on that, but on both items at the same time. Keeping the current member as Director Frazier and the current alternate as Council Member Schisler.
So you need a motion to approve
We'll need a
the
motion to
Litigation
approve
and
that.
Claims Committee as Frazier is the current member and Schisler as the alternate. That is my motion.
Second.
Ask Lena to take a roll call vote. Director Castor?
Yes.
Director Frazier?
Yes, and thank you, Councilman Schisler.
Director Hudson?
Yes.
Director Johnson?
Yes.
Chair Kemp?
Yes.
Director Knight? Director Myers?
Yes.
Director Overman?
Yes.
Director Schisler?
Yes.
Director Smith?
Yes.
Director Vieira?
Yes.
Director Williams?
Yes.
Motion passes unanimously. Okay, the next committee is the HART ADA Accessibility Committee. We have not had anybody express specific interest in this. The current members are Director Williams and Commissioner Smith. Would anybody like to either take up an additional nomination or take an action on those 2 current members?
I'll stay on as alternate.
I was going to nominate you as the member, so.
Well,
do we
And
then?
if I may,
I apologize, go ahead.
thank you. If I may, this is Councilman Vieira. I would love to do this, but this falls on Thursdays and has been an issue with city council, so just to explain my inability. Thank you.
Well, is there anybody else who would like to express interest, or if Director Williams would like to remain on this committee?
I'll remain on as a committee member.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
If we could just take, get a motion to go ahead and proceed forward with retaining the current members on the Accessibility Committee.
Motion to approve Member Williams as the member and Commissioner Smith as the alternate
Second.
for the ADA Accessibility Committee.
Second.
Go ahead. Director Castor?
Yes.
Director Frazier?
Yes.
Director Hudson?
Yes.
Director Johnson?
Yes.
Chair Kim?
Yes.
Director Myers?
Yes.
Director Overman?
Yes.
Director Schisler?
Yes.
Director Smith?
Yes.
Director Vieira?
Yes.
Director Williams?
Yes.
Motion passes unanimously. Thank you. As we move into the third part of this nomination process, I'm going to turn it over to our new chair to go ahead and proceed forward with moderating this, the remaining items.
Thank you. Okay, new chair. And, sorry, I was just looking at this, and we're at the, okay, thank you. I was over there and, okay, thank you. So in terms of this, let's see, we have the current members and we have an additional member. I thought you were going to run it through for all of these committees, sorry.
I'm happy to, if you would like me to just go ahead and continue to run that, I can. I just got a note that it was typically the chairperson that runs this, but I'm happy to continue my role as the moderator.
That would be fine with me, actually,
Okay,
if you
very good.
did that.
Not a problem. All right, so we're moving into the Tampa Historic Streetcar Board. Our current members, we have Director Johnson, Councilmember Vieira, and Director Williams. We have 4 who have expressed interest. Director Johnson, Councilmember Vieira, Melanie Williams, Director Williams, and Councilmember Schisler. So I think this one's a little bit more of a complication to try and figure out how to do it. So why don't we go ahead and everybody can indicate the 3 members that they would like to see on the board, and we'll see how we can take that in terms of the numbers. It might be a little bit of a slower process, but I think it's probably better than doing it individually.
And Madam Chair, or if I may?
Yes.
Yes. You're recognized, thank you.
Yes. Thank you. I can take my name off if there's an additional person who has interest. I'd be more than happy to let them take up a year. I have no objection to that.
Well, yeah, and Councilmember Vieira, you also have expressed interest as serving as an alternate. So perhaps you would want to remain as an alternate on this board, and then we would have 3 members that have expressed interests, if that's something you would be amenable to.
I'm amenable, yes, ma'am.
Thank you. So with that, why don't we have a motion or unless there's anybody else who would like to take any interest in the Historic Streetcar Board?
I'll make a motion to appoint Johnson, Williams, Schisler as members of the Streetcar Board with Vieira as alternate.
Wonderful. We'll take a second.
Second. Can I ask a question? Do we need 3 alternates?
I think there's availability for 3 alternates. If we want to have additional alternates, we certainly can. It doesn't appear as we had more than 1 last year. So however you would like to proceed.
So can I amend your motion
Yeah.
to suggest that we have Eric Johnson, Councilman Schisler, and Melanie Williams as the member, and Tyler Hudson, Councilman Vieira, and ask if there were any other individuals and to participate as an alternative. I haven't heard that yet, but that would, if there is anyone interested.
Yeah, we can take another alternate if anybody has any interest in serving as the alternate on the street card board.
Okay, well then, just the two as an alternate, so.
So that would be an amendment to Mr. Director Hudson's motion. Do you accept that?
Yes.
Okay, good, thank you.
We'll go ahead and take a second to that amended motion then.
Second.
Okay, so I guess seeing no other, that's the list right there, and we'd have to take a vote?
Yes.
At this time?
That's
Okay.
Director Castor?
Yes.
Director Frazier?
Yes.
Director Hudson?
Yes.
Director Johnson?
Yes.
Chair Kemp?
Yes.
Director Myers?
Yes.
Director Oberman?
Yes.
Director Schisler?
Yes.
Director Smith?
Yes.
Director Vieira?
Yes.
Director Williams?
Yes.
Motion passes unanimously. Thank you. Would you like me to continue,
I,
Kemp?
I'll try it here.
Okay, go ahead.
I wasn't quite sure what to do about the one before that, honestly, how that would
We had to
work.
muddle through that one a little
Yeah,
bit, so.
thank you, and I wasn't really prepped for that, so. We have here the TPO, the Transportation Planning Organization, the new name for the MPO. Current member Melanie Williams. We have nominated the HART CEO. I know we had a discussion about this prior. And current alternate is Eric Johnson. Commissioner Myers nominated the HART Board Chair, which I guess is Mariella Smith at this time, who is already TPO. I don't know, is there any other nomination? Well, I guess we discussed, that would be the HART Board Chair, and so I guess we could have a vote on that. And then with the alternate, is there any other further discussion about the
Excuse me,
I got a
this is
question for you
for
real
the
quick.
TPO?
The TPO?
And hadn't we been talking at the TPO and here about having the HART CEO?
Right, which is what we're talking about right
Okay, I
now.
thought you were saying the HART Board Chair.
No, it had,
As an
it has at the alternate here,
Sorry,
it's got
got it.
Commissioner Myers nominated HART Board Chair, who I guess is, if it's just the chair, it would be me now or you, if that was the intention before, or just as a regular item, but we are both already
Right.
members of the TPO, that's all.
Sorry,
That's what I was clarifying.
sorry.
Madam Chair,
Yes.
quick question.
Mr. Johnson, Director
Well,
Johnson.
first, I'll go ahead, I'll make a motion to nominate Ms. LeGrand as the member from HART. The question that I wanted to, and maybe I jumped this too early, do we need to have it be, my intention is to be able to have the HART CEO be the appointee. Do we need to be able to make it, I don't want to make it too specific by saying Ms. LeGrand, or should we just have it as the HART Chief Executive Officer and do it that way?
I would say, I guess we can do HART CEO. The
Okay.
other thing I wonder about, actually with the alternate, is what the other organizations have, because we have the Airport Authority, we have the Expressway Authority, the Port Authority on the TPO, and they have their staff as the alternate, which makes sense to me about how it should be, because one of the reasons to have the CEO on the TPO is because of their expertise. And so it seems to me that their alternate could be, I don't think we have to name a person. We can name, appointed by, designated by CEO.
And that was the second part of my question. So
Yeah.
that's exactly what when we had the
Right.
initial conversation last month, that's exactly what I was looking at.
Right. It's kind of confusing because of the transition, but when I was.
Well, I guess, oh, go ahead, Commissioner. No, I was just going to go ahead and, as far as on the motion, I was just going to make it be for the member be the HART CEO, and as the alternate be the designee of the CEO.
Okay. I'll second that. Okay, we have a motion and a second in terms of the alternate. Thank you all very much. And HART CEO as the nominated member. So with that, would you, oh, I'm sorry, Commissioner Overman.
I just have a real quick question. Honestly, I think we need to make a statement that HART's participation on our transportation policy organization by the CEO is our commitment to transit as part of our transportation plan. So my question was, do we need to change our board policy that that position is filled by the CEO on an ongoing basis
Well, we
rather
could
than
do
at this
that.
point? Because I think it
Well,
would
we
be
could do that,
important.
but right now we can do this.
Agreed.
And then in the future, that could be something that's done, because I think that that is a appropriate follow-up to this. But I think we had to see if this would
Fly.
be the kind of
Got
the
it.
first step to doing that. But with
Perfect.
the discussion today and the discussion prior, I think that that could be a future designation. I'm not sure how it got to be what it is now, but at any rate. Okay, so with that, are there any other comments or questions about this? Okay, so we'll just do a roll call vote.
Director Castor,
Yes.
Director Frazier,
Yes.
Director Hudson,
Yes.
Director Johnson,
Yes.
Chair Kemp,
Yes.
Director Knight, Director Myers,
Yes.
Director Overman,
Yes.
Director Schisler,
Yes.
Director Smith, Director Vieira,
Yes.
Director Williams.
Yes.
Motion passes unanimously.
Thank you. And the next one, we have current members for the Transportation Disadvantage Coordinating Board. We have the current members, but we have no expressed interest for the future members. And I'm not, I know that this has been an ongoing problem. I'm not sure if it might be also due to the time that the Transportation Disadvantage Coordinating Board meets or not, but, and so maybe that's something to look at, right? I'm not sure where to go with this right now. Any suggestions? Maybe we could ask the current members to continue serving and take this up at a future meeting. Would that be acceptable to Councilman Vieira and Councilman Schisler?
If I may, Chair?
Yes, thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. I always have conflicts with my legal practice that day, but, so I love that committee. It's a wonderful committee. I used to chair it a few years ago, and it's great people. I just hate being part of a committee that I can't attend because of work conflicts, but I can continue to be a member up until it's readdressed. I have no problem with that.
Okay, and maybe, I don't know what the possibility is, maybe I can talk to you offline about, maybe it would be something that if they had the meetings at a different time, that it might be better. I'm not sure what the conflicts are. I remember once that I looked at it and I had a conflict with a meeting in my schedule, so.
If I can make a suggestion, perhaps we can ask if Lena could call and see if there's any flexibility in the scheduling of the time for that meeting, and she could then communicate with Councilmember Vieira about potentially the scheduling conflicts, and if that can't get worked out, we can have that maybe brought back at our next
Yeah,
meeting.
we can
discuss.
try that. We'll just put it off for a little bit and have further conversations, if that's all right.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so I don't think we have to vote on this at this time, correct?
If we're just going to go ahead and keep it as is, and we're going to move it to another meeting, we can just leave that without an action.
Okay, so we go to T-BARDA, and we have a current member, Commissioner Overman, expressed interest only Commissioner Overman,
I would like to retain the position
Okay.
if supported.
and there's no other expressed interest, so do we take a vote on that, or?
Yeah, go ahead. I would go ahead and take a vote
Okay.
as
Okay.
a new appointment.
Director Castor,
Yes.
Director Frazier,
Yes.
Director Hudson,
Yes.
Director Johnson,
Yes.
Chair Kemp,
Yes.
Director Myers,
Yes.
Director Overman,
Yes.
Director Schisler,
Yes.
Director Smith, Director Vieira,
Yes.
Director Williams.
Yes.
Motion passes unanimously.
Thank you. The Affordable Housing Advisory Board, current member is Gwen Myers, or Commissioner Gwen Myers. and she has expressed interest. I did too at the time, but I'll just remove my name from here. The current alternate is me, and Mayor Castor has expressed interest, so we can,
And I'll remove my name, Mayor Castor. You can remove me from there and leave Commissioner Kemp as the alternate.
okay, thank you. So that makes, so is there anyone else that would like to nominate or speak to this? Okay, and seeing no one else, can we have a roll call vote?
Director Castor,
Yes.
Director Frazier,
Yes.
Director Hudson,
Yes.
Director Johnson,
Yes.
Chair Kemp,
Yes.
Director Myers,
Yes.
Director Overman,
Yes.
Director Schisler,
Yes.
Director Smith,
Yes.
Director Vieira,
Yes.
Director Williams.
Yes.
Motion passes unanimously.
Thank you. And this doesn't look to, the other HART committees are appointed by board chair, so, but it looks, I'll just say, I'll look at this after, but there are two possible, for whatever reasons, strategic planning has 7 members, so there's 2 vacancies on that. The other ones all look like it's that the current composition is fine, or matches what the needs are. So I'm just going to take a month, I'll just announce, or just announce it during the time here before the next meeting. And in terms of the 2 vacancies, they're just to draw anybody's attention to that, so that if anyone's interested, they can contact, I guess it would be Ms. LeGrand.
And the only other comment I'd make on that is that in order to have a quorum, it's not a quorum of the members appointed, it's a quorum of the totality of the board makeup. So not having those 2 vacant items filled can affect your ability to get a quorum.
I see. Thank you for that clarification. And that's another thing too, I guess, we might be going over the bylaws for some and looking at some things, and that might be something, I'm not sure. As I've said before, we did have an operating finance and audit committee, or finance committee, that met for some time, but for most of the time, it was newly made, the operations and safety committee, I think just by chair designation at the time, and then strategic planning did not meet for the first 3 years that I was on the board, or 4 even. So we'll have to maybe look at that more closely. Yes.
And to the point that Ms. Mendel made, the Strategic Planning and External Relations Committee actually this year is critically important, given that we're moving forward on looking for a long-term strategy for HART. And we'll be working through that as we have our deadline or goal line of December for that particular issue. Additionally, we'll be working on the various different ways that HART communicates our long-term goals for funding for the referendum this year. So this position is incredibly important, and given the change in strategy of addressing items for recommendation to the board, having 2 vacant positions that allows this committee to not have a quorum actually will cause some great disruption for the organization, in my opinion. So if there's anyone here that did not express an interest, that has an interest, I'd like to see if there's anyone that would like to offer their name as someone to consider for appointment, because this really is a very important committee, and I'd like to make sure that we have it fully staffed.
And that's part of the reason I pointed out the vacancies, but we'll see. The other thing is, as I said, looking at the bylaws again, because I'm not sure where or how or the designations came, so I'd just like to look that over.
I can go ahead and take a look at that issue and the issue that Commissioner Overman has raised.
In fact, even though it didn't meet, it was called the Legislative Committee prior to this. So anyway,
Well, why don't I plan to bring a report back at the next meeting on those 2 items?
okay, that sounds good. That sounds good. And with that, I guess yes? Commissioner Smith?
So one of the things we'd be looking at is possibly reducing the required number of members to 5 for that. And I know that I think it was the Transportation Disadvantage Coordinating Board and maybe another one, we've actually changed the definition of a quorum to be fewer members, so that might be possible, especially with these committees, although I guess, 3 is what you have to have, so.
I'm happy to take a look at all of those issues and bring you back a report.
It's another good suggestion, so we'll just see what we come up with. And with that, do we have to do anything further?
No, ma'am.
Okay, in terms of that. Okay, so we'll move to the sole source procurement. Ms. LeGrand will report on sole source awards and deviations from requirements of the procurement manual for November 2021.
Yes, and congratulations to all of you, and congratulations to me as well. And thank you for your vote of confidence on TPO. I'm looking forward to doing that. So sole source, we have 2 additional items that were added since we last met. And what you'll see there in the top part, which is A, sole source awards for November. Well, matter of fact, we were here in November, so we did present November. We were here in December, we presented November. So what you'll see here now, though, is we have November and October in Section B, which will be our year-to-date running tally. And Section A is showing what happened the previous month. So when we come back to you, we'll probably have both December and January at the February meeting. We did talk about the trapeze annual maintenance, and we talked about the records retention at our last meeting in December. So there's nothing new that's been added since we met last.
Great, thank you. Any comments? Okay, and Ms. LeGrand, Chief Officer's report.
Okay.
CEO.
So as before the meeting started, I was chatting with a couple of you and saying that, it's actually officially a year. My first day was January 4th, and I was the 10th. So thank you. So it's definitely been an honor and a privilege to serve in this capacity. And, a year was long, but it doesn't really feel like it's been a year. It's one of those weird things, right? But I'm happy to be here, and we've done a lot. And I know when I kicked off with the interview in the first couple of months, I would give updates on where we were. And, I committed to doing 3 things in the first year, which was to really take time to listen, hear what people were saying, and engage with partners. And we were able to do that, and we see that pays dividends, right? We found money through collaboration, working with partners for the heavy maintenance facility. We have $75 million in hand, and that's not just because, myself alone, but myself with the team and the community raising the issue and partners stepping to the table. Several of you around the table put skin in the game by voting and engaging with your constituents and your colleagues to elevate the importance of the heavy maintenance facility. And that's really something that we're continuing to do through this engagement process, is find ways that we're working more collaboratively as a region. And I'll give you an example. I had the opportunity to meet with Demetria Simmons from the Tampa Bay Partnership, and she came in as a meet and greet in her new role. And at the end of the meeting, she said, session is coming up, and I want you to know we have the heavy maintenance facility as one of our priorities. That's what collaboration is, right? I didn't ask for them to do that. They came to me and shared that that's what they're doing. So I just want to say that we're continuing to listen, to hear something that's a continuous process, but it's paying dividends to the organization because people want to come to us and find ways that we can partner and move the agenda forward for the region. Another thing that I mentioned that I was going to do here was really look at renewing the organization, taking some time. And sometimes people don't want to take the time that's necessary. I will say no one that knows me personally will say that I'm big on patience, but I have learned how to be more patient over this last year. And, taking the time to really assess where we are, understand the skill sets that we have, also recognizing where we need to supplement. And we've been going through that process utilizing external resources through public agency, organizations, transportation agency organizations to really help us to find the right people and be respectful of individuals. I know that there have been conversations and we've seen that some people have, chosen to go in another direction, but I celebrate that because it gives people the opportunity to take some time and find the right place for them, because we want everyone to be successful, regardless if they work for HART or another organization. It's about making sure people are strong and they're capable to be successful out in our region. And we were able to accomplish that as well. In addition to attract some really top-notch talent that have been in the industry for several decades, have done innovative work, and we're able to attract them because they see that HART is doing some new things and that we're really focused on moving the dial forward. It's a new day for all of us. Anybody who employs anybody knows that it's hard to find people. Globally, everyone is deciding, I don't know how these people have been investing. I need to take a little class from them. But all sorts of people are deciding to just opt out and not even participate in the workforce. And if they do, they're doing it in a totally different way. So it's a very disruptive time for us to find people, keep them, and get them, I would say, jazzed up about showing up every day. But it's not unique just to HART. It's not unique to the county. I've had conversations with Bonnie Wise at the county. It's not unique to the city. This is something that we're all grappling with, and not just for the Tampa Bay region, it's global. So recognizing that, it is important to take your time. It is important to make sure that we understand what the culture of the organization is, and we have to sell that as well as the services that we provide. And I would say that during this last year, we've been working to accomplish that. Again, it is an ongoing process. We need to make sure that we have our programs in place so that once people come in, they have opportunities to grow, and they can see HART as a place where you just don't come in one opportunity or one position, and that's it for you. You can matriculate throughout the organization and have totally new careers within the same brand. So that's something that we've also, I'm very happy to say that we have made some improvements there, and we're continuing to move the dial forward. And then lastly, I talked to you about the vision of the organization and renewing our vision and working to develop a strategic plan. And we were all at the State of HART, and we were able to see the graphics and see that the folks in the organization from every department, from the bus washer to the mechanic to the bus operator to administrative assistant to directors, every department that has people working in it at HART participated in our visioning process. We heard from their voices either directly or through engagement with their colleagues, so that we made sure that the new vision for HART is reflective of where the current employees would like to be and see and understand what it is that we do for the community. So I have to say that, I'm very excited that we were able to make all those things happen within the first 12 months during a pandemic, which seems like it doesn't want to leave as quickly as we all would like it to leave. But that did not stop us. And our community is still riding the system. I think at the end of the day, we're in the business of moving people. And we were able to move a lot of people. Our ridership, the last numbers I had for November, we were hitting the 800,000 mark. Before the pandemic, we were hitting like the million rider mark a month, because we had approximately 12 million annual riders. So we're getting closer to that number, right? And just think about it. We're still not 100% open. Everybody's not 100% back in person working, and we're getting closer. So that means that people understand the value of public transit. People have to depend on our service, and it is our responsibility to ensure that we're providing the best service possible, and we're tirelessly working to improve it. So I have to say that the team has done a stellar job. They've had a new leader who's a little bit different. I have big ideas, which sometimes is scary to folks. My apologies there. But I think we have the rhythm, right? If this was a dance class, we're not stepping on each other's toes any longer. So we're moving to the same beat, and we understand where we need to go. And for the future, the next 12 months, what we're really focused on is implementing our strategic plan, driving forward a lot of the initiatives we started, continuing to look at our on-time performance. We're around 82% right now. Our goal is to be over 85%. Just trying to get the job done and then continue to find money. We're excited about the heavy maintenance facility. We've applied for grants to get us to the $100 million mark. But then in addition, we recognize that we also have to find money to buy more vehicles so that we can have a new fleet that is reliable to get our folks where they need to go. So those are some of the projects that we're still moving forward with. Next month, I'll come back to you with a full-blown presentation. This is just an overview. I have been on vacation, which I am very happy to say. It was a great vacation. Folks in the back, you guys should be a little scared because I have a whole lot of energy. You thought I had energy before. Well, Adelie after vacation is a whole new animal. So we're going to be running real fast. They might call you and tell you to tell her to slow down, but, you know, at least accept their calls. And we'll have a full-blown presentation with data so you can see really what does this mean, right, in numbers. And that's what we want to be able to do moving forward, is every month when we present, have a dashboard of metrics that you will be familiar with seeing. And I can tell you on-time performance will be one of those metrics, right? Because that's the business that we're in. So if we're not having conversations, at least on a monthly basis, on how well we're doing as far as providing the service, why are we in this room, right? So those are some of the things that the staff is working on. And in February, we'll be able to give you a presentation with the dashboard and talk to you about how we'll move forward with presenting our data. But again, it's been an honor and a privilege to serve. Looking forward to doing big things in 22, and always here at your disposal. So thank you, Madam Chair. And I want to say, because I look to the right to thank you. Lastly, I want to say, you know, as a new person to a new region, in a new job, in a new era, I land here in Tampa, and I was so fortunate to land here to serve directly with Mariella Smith. You guys may not know, but she is a firecracker, and she doesn't hold any punches, and we have gotten so many things accomplished. We've talked about so many issues, and how do we do this? And I'm like, I don't know how to maneuver this. And I'm like, something I might have been thinking about for like a day. I talked to Mariella in like 5 minutes. She's like, okay, da-da-da-da. And I'm like, you're so masterful at just like, okay, we're just going to go through this. You know, she has the back door into how we get things done. So I've learned so much. As I've said to her, I don't know the politics. I don't know how to do politics. I've learned so much. I learned that I don't want to be a politician. I will never run for office. But I do know that you have to vote for the right people. And obviously, the folks in Hillsborough County knew the right person because they voted for you. And because of that, I had the privilege of working directly with you. So I'm looking forward to continue working with you, but I will miss you as the board chair. So thank you.
Great. So we're moving to the chair's report. Did you want to, I know you kind of did a chair's report at the beginning there.
Right, I have nothing to report. I just am very grateful as well that we've been able to work together through this very exciting time of transition. I just feel so optimistic for this agency with this board and the CEO and the staff and the organization, as you've been very talented in reorganizing and getting everybody rowing in the same direction. So as we move in with forward with this new chair, I just couldn't be more optimistic and feeling good about this board.
And of course, I have nothing to report about chair except that thank you, Ms. LeGrand, for recognizing Commissioner Smith's incredible abilities and leadership that she's taken in this position for the last couple of years. I think that she has shepherded us through one of the most difficult times that HART has ever experienced. I have, I think in the past we've had difficulties, but we have been on a roller coaster for 2 years or so. It was just it's been so difficult through, I don't even know, CEO by committee, as well as a stream of CEOs and issues and problems, investigations, and then we come to real instability and search for a new CEO, and just all the guidance and leadership and everything else that Commissioner Smith gave through these. I can't imagine really anybody being able to do it as well, and as, with such, you just did such a great job in the most, I guess I can't imagine more difficult circumstances, honestly, to have been leading this organization. So we all have a debt of gratitude, and the future, I think, is really, really bright. And I'm, as I've expressed many times before, so pleased to have Ms. LeGrand on board with the vision and the depth that you have for HART. And I was really happy to hear that Bamitra Simmons, the Tampa Bay Partnership, came and said that they were on board with this priority. It's been a long time out there as a really, pressing priority, critically needed, as you've raised. As I said, it was one of the first things that happened when I was on this board, December 2016 and 2017, and then it just kind of like disappeared from the agenda, which I never quite understood. So thank you for, I guess by necessity, bringing that up again. I'm not sure where we were going to go without that, but we have to be on that, and the changes we've seen in the agency in the last year have been I think, laying an incredible foundation for a sea change. And we've had two captains at the helm here that I think have steered the ship in such a great direction. And we were in really, really, really rocky seas. So with that, I'll move to the general counsel's. I don't know if anybody else wanted to say anything here. I didn't mean to. Okay, we'll move to the general counsel's report.
Thank you. I don't have anything to report today other than congratulate all members on their new positions and to say it has been absolutely my pleasure to get to work with Ms. LeGrand over this last year. She's been a really wonderful addition to not just this board, but to this agency, but to the community as a whole. Thank you.
Great. Old business? New business? Yes, Commissioner Overman?
Thank you, and it's sort of a combination of old and new business. About a year ago, we worked with a consultant to help develop the financial strategic plan that I think it will be very valuable information for this board to hear. And while it would be really great if it were at this meeting, we weren't able to have a meeting in December. So I wanted to ask if for certain we'll have a presentation by the consultant that was working through the financial plan at the financial committee for January. And the reason I ask is the Board of County Commission is working with all of our partners on our overall transportation plan through the TPO, through the City of Tampa, through all of our HART, the board, on preparing for going out to the public to talk about how do we fund our long-term transportation needs. And that first town hall is February 9th, and then we'll have 3 of them at the end of February. So being best prepared for what that message looks like and HART's mission and goals and financial needs, I think is going to be an important part of that equation. Given that we couldn't have it today, because we didn't, I look forward to hearing that conversation and would encourage the board to maybe consider trying to either attend virtually or participate in that conversation so that we have a robust communication strategy to reach out to the public about the needs of this agency and transit as a whole. So that's just what I wanted to, it's not a motion per se, but it's just to ensure that we're prepared for next month's communication with our public and our ridership.
Okay, and with that, we will, before I adjourn, I just want to say, I'm looking at Director Frazier, and she's not on Netflix, and so anyway, it's, congratulations on your series there. Pretty amazing. And with that, at 10:01, we'll adjourn.
I told you she'd be short.